you explain Saturday? Was it just a collective off day on a windy afternoon with a bobbly pitch?
Well, pitch was, it was poor. It was the same for both sides, so not really an excuse. I think it was just our own performance with and without the ball. Really, first half I think we were off it. Sort of probably carried on from the week before when we got away with one really. So we were conscious of that and determined to put in a better performance, and that just never really materialised. So yeah, we were disappointed, and we just have to improve. That's the only explanation I can put to it.
Is that actually true of any game? If you're sluggish in the first 5 minutes, it's very hard to pick up the tempo. And I've seen it in other games down the years where you think a side ought to be winning or ought to be on top, and for some reason they don't start quite right, and then it just never happens after that.
Yeah, momentum's a massive thing in football, and it's much harder to change it in your favour when you haven't got it from the start. But you know, they'd have said that they wanted to start well as well. I actually think we did start well. You know, for the first 5 minutes or so, and then it was after that we sort of didn't use the ball well enough, and defensively or without the ball over the pitch, we weren't really first to the ball, and that creates your own problems then.
From where you were, Scunthorpe were very compact, and you were trying to use the diagonal to Chris Hussey from your position. What did the geography on the pitch look like from where you were? Did it look as if there wasn't much space?
Yeah, they blocked the middle of the pitch up quite well. I think Perch, who's obviously a very experienced player and played at the top level, he did a good job for them in midfield, and we've spoke about that a lot recently, where certain teams are going to do that because of the way we play, and it's up to us to use the ball better and break them down. You know, the top sides have to do that every week, so we want to be a top side at this level, and we've got to improve when that situation arises. And
you think you've got the tools to do that, presumably?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just putting those tools together, and like you say, it's a combination of everything, a bit of momentum. If we'd have created a few more chances or sustained the pressure for longer, we might have been able to open those gaps up, but it was a case of we attack, and then we ended up starting from so deep again, rather than keeping it in their box or keeping it in their half for longer periods of time. That's just my opinion of what it felt like on the pitch. So we have done it. We've done it well at times this season. So, but there's a couple of games now where we haven't, and we need to change that quick if we want to carry on in our fight to have success this season.
There's quite a lot of traffic now in and around the last playoff place, isn't there? One or two teams, Port Vale getting a bit closer. Bradford have had a change of manager. Does this Carlisle game feel like a big one because A, you want to sort of correct what happened on Saturday, and B, maybe there's a little bit of pressure coming to try and win, having lost on Saturday?
Yeah, there's a lot of good sides in and around it, and we aren't daft enough to think that we're entitled to that spot just because we've done all right this season. You know, everybody has a good run at certain times, but it's up to us to put a stop to a bad run before it really starts. It's not a bad run; it's just a couple of bad performances or a couple of bad halves maybe. So yeah, we look forward to Tuesday. It's an opportunity to put that right before we look towards talking about playoffs. We just have to put Saturday's performance right on Tuesday, and we've got the opportunity to do that tomorrow night.
Big wide pitch at Carlisle too, isn't it? So that may help a little bit. Scunthorpe is a bit narrower.
Yeah, possibly. We just have to do the things that I've said before better, and we know we can do that. So it's just about putting the two together and performing well. I can't say we're going to win the game, but we concentrate on those things first, and we should have a better performance than we had on Saturday.
We've got a few players who've been around this level for a while, people like Alessandra, Nathan Thomas, who sometimes plays off the front. McCurdy's quite tricky too. He might give you a similar sort of challenge to the one that Aboista gave you at the weekend.
Yeah, we know that they've got quality in the final third, and so yeah, we'd have to be on our guard. But it's the same as most games we play. we put the onus on ourselves to perform and keep the ball and pass the ball, and we've got a decent enough defensive record this season, so we have to think positively about that situation and look forward to another challenge.
Just a last thought about set pieces. Carlisle's goal from Saturday came from a corner, well delivered one to be fair. That's always an important phase of the game, isn't it? Just to make sure that you don't give anything cheap away from a dead ball.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something we work hard on. I think away from home we've not conceded many, but some have been set pieces. So it's something that we concentrate on a lot. And yeah, like you say, they've got a couple of big lads. The lad who scored and the other centre back who plays regularly. So yeah, we have to be on our guard and make sure we're tuned in and livening other people around us up to combat that.